Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, Danny Dink and Dunk as I'm going to call him, or as I've been calling him. He was able to actually beat the Vikings pretty convincingly. It got a little bit nerve-wracking, though. A late drop by Darius Slayton and then a roughing the passer by Dexter Lawrence set up the Vikings in position to maybe push it down the field. And then on a 4th and 8, Kirk Cousins throws a 3-yard out route. And the end of the game, Daniel Jones wins by 7 to move on. He wins his first ever career playoff game in his first career playoff opening and playoff start. So I want to know, what's your reaction to this upset by Daniel Jones and the New York Football Giants?
I picked the Giants to win.
Fair.
Yeah. So I was pleased that I got it right, and I was happy for the Giants, particularly for Brian Daboll. I think he... he's done a great job coaching this year. He really had those guys ready to play. The defensive coordinator's really good too, Wink Martindale. And Daniel Jones, he played mistake-free football. He was really on. And I don't think I've ever seen him play as well as that. I do think, though, going forward, maybe not this year, but in the years going forward, and I'm sure they're going to make him a deal he can't refuse to stay with them, and he's got the leverage now the way he played in that game. He ran the ball 17 times, and he got almost 80 yards. And he's taken some big hits this year when he's been running the ball, and I don't think that's something that can continue if he wants to stay upright and be a long-term quarterback. He's going to have to adjust that a little bit. He can't run so many times, but it worked in this game. I mean, it was definitely their strategy when he went back there and he didn't see anybody open. If he had a lane, run it. He had permission from the coaches to do that. And Barkley had a good game, too, running the ball. So their running game was they trounced the Vikings in the running statistics, right?
Yeah,
I don't think the Vikings, would they have 60 yards rushing, something like that? They didn't have very much. The Giants were, almost 200 yards rushing.
Hey,
that was a big difference in the game. It helped to run the clock down, and they moved
Vikings,
the ball that
16 rushes, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. The Giants, 30 rushes, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns.
142 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Jones made NFL history. He's the first quarterback with 300-plus passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 70-plus rushing yards. So not only was it his first playoff game and his first playoff win, he also made history in it.
Yeah.
So it was incredible to watch. But however, I don't know if I have the graphic up here. I hope I have the graphic set up properly. Let's see. This was his passing depth chart, as we should say. His passing depth. As we see here, I call him Danny Dink and Dunk because kind of what he does. But I'm going to give him somewhat the benefit of the doubt. He doesn't have great receivers. He has probably, at most, the wide receiver 2.
I'd say that Hodgins, or whatever his name is very good.
Hodges.
He was quite good.
He took one deep shot that was incomplete. But as we see here, there's a lot of stuff within 10 yards. But you know what? He made it work. And that's what Daniel Jones. This is the great thing about Brian Daboll. He makes Danny Dink and Dunk or Danny Dimes work. Because that's how good Brian Daboll is. Daniel Jones went from getting bashed all the time to saying, oh, snap, wait, he's a top 10 quarterback this year. Oh, snap, he's a really good quarterback. The Giants did not sign him to his 5th-year option. Instead, he may have just played himself into a 5-6-year deal, potentially. My guess is Daniel Jones is going to go out here, sign a 4-5-year deal, make about $42 million a year. Is he worth that money? If Brian Daboll ever gets out of there, hell no, he's not worth $42 million a year. He's probably worth $25 as a backup at most. And backup quarterbacks don't even make $25 million.
No.
But Daniel Jones, I'm gonna stop ripping on him for the time being because I may actually end up picking Daniel Jones against the Vikings. But this is Daniel Jones's passing depth chart. This is what it is.
You mean against the Eagles?
This was not against the. What did I say?
You say you pick him against the Vikings.
Oh, sorry, I'm against the Eagles. Yeah. So I'm gonna take. I may pick him. They're 7.5 point underdogs. But hey, Brian Daboll's doing a phenomenal job. I said back in week 1 after they beat the Titans, when they came back and beat the Titans, I said Brian Daboll Coach of the Year. And partially it was a joke. I'm not going to say that I foresee
having the guts to do the 2-point play there at the end and winning and getting it. That set a tone for them. I think that was an important part of their season.
Yeah,
winning that game like that. But
I'm going to give it to Daniel Jones. He was very, very impressive. He made it work. The offense was great. He threw for over 300 yards. And I think it's a large credit due to how well he's been coached. There's nothing wrong with saying that Brian Daboll's the main reason for this success.
No, I think he held Daniel Jones accountable.
Right.
When he made mistakes, he told him, that was not the right thing to do. And I think that had an effect on him. And I think that I agree with you. I think Brian Daboll did a fantastic job coaching that team this year.
Yeah. So
he had some help, though. I think Martindale did a great job on defense. He doesn't have that many players on defense, I don't think. I mean, Thibodeau was great, right? But who do they got in the back in the secondary? I mean, Landon Collins, he's back.
Yep.
He's a veteran, but the other guys, I don't know who those guys are.
Xavier
and their
McKinney's
linebackers.
Out there.
So who do they have
Anthony
in there?
Jones.
Who are their linebacker? Who's their great linebacker? Do they have a really great linebacker?
They have Jalen Smith, I believe.
Yeah. Do they have anybody that made the Pro Bowl on defense? I mean, Dexter Lawrence is a good lineman.
Dexter Lawrence almost made All-Pro.
Yeah.
So he's very, very good. You had Leonard Williams on the defensive line.
Yeah, Leonard Williams.
Kayvon Thibodeau, he's on the defensive line as well.
I think Thibodeau was the best defensive player, though.
It's definitely up for debate, but yeah, I think he's definitely in the conversation. I'd say he's at least top 3. Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence will be in that conversation. But the Vikings were kind of what we thought they were.
The other thing that the Giants did, they took away the run game pretty much. It's only 60 yards, and they took away Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
he didn't have much of a game.
Yeah, he was pretty.
He only caught four balls for 50 yards or something. He didn't have much of a game.
Right.
So that's pretty good. Most teams haven't been able to do that.
Correct.
Take him away.
7 catches, 47 yards.
Oh.
So actually worse than what you said.
Yeah.
More catches, less yards. So the Giants defense was really, really good in this game. And also, the offense played very, very efficiently. 24-35, 301, 2 touchdowns. You rushed 17 times. That's a lot. That's a lot for Daniel Jones, for a quarterback. Yeah. 78 yards. Saquon Barkley, 9 rushes, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns. It seems like Brian Daboll has found what makes this offense work. Daniel Jones being sort of that mobile quarterback.
Tough for him next week. The Eagles will be looking for Daniel Jones to run the ball. He won't have as much success running it this time, I don't think.
I think we should also put context here, because while I'm praising Daniel Jones here, we do have to add a little bit of context. This was against the 31st ranked total defense.
Yeah.
And one that's ranked 20th in rushing, 31st in passing. So we have to put a little bit of context here, but still, Daniel Jones did what I thought since he came into the league he couldn't do, and that's be efficient and play very well. In this game,
not turn the ball.
He played
over.
very
He didn't
well.
turn it all over at all.
He wasn't that huge
turnovers.
He wasn't big on the interception throwing. He was big on the fumble. He took away his main source of playing badly and losing his team games.
I think they have a better offensive line this year than they've had in the past.
In the past, yeah, but that's not saying much because their offensive line has been horrible the past 3-4 years.
So a lot of those fumbles happened when he was getting sacked.
Right. So I mean, what Daniel Jones has done is very, very impressive, and that's a huge credit to the way Brian Daboll looks. I mean, look at Josh Allen now. Josh Allen was very, very refined. Brian Daboll refined Josh Allen's game in the red zone, not throwing as many interceptions, pocket awareness, holding on to the football. Brian Daboll gets out of there. Josh Allen now leads the league in total turnovers. He's like 32 this year, which is absurd. It's absurd. And now look at Daniel Jones. Past 3-4 years, he's looked horrible against, a bunch of offensive coordinators and a few head coaches. Brian Daboll comes in, refines his game.
Yeah.
So I've been very, very impressed. I've been very, very impressed. But on the Vikings side of this, the Vikings were exactly what people said they were. Kirk Cousins outside of 1 p.m. has been okay at best. Not great. Bad, maybe even. He didn't play that badly. He just didn't play great.
The defense let him down.
You think it's the defense?
Yeah, I think the defense let them down. I mean, their offense they scored 24 points, but they couldn't get the ball to Jefferson. That was a big problem for them, and they couldn't get the running game. Really didn't get going with Cook, who was a very good running back.
They went 4 of 10 on third downs, 40%. It's not great compared to when the Giants have over 50% on.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins throwing on that 4th down play, he saw the defensive guy was right there. Hawkinson was not going to get the first down.
My question is, though, why even call a play with a drag route or an out route?
They should have had all the receivers beyond the first down marker.
4th and 8, and you throw a 3-yard route. That's just not smart. That's just not smart. So Kirk Cousins, he was on a 1-year deal, fully guaranteed. I mean, is he one of 32 best quarterbacks in the nation? Yeah, he is. Is he average to below average? Yeah, he is. Would I take Jimmy G over Kirk Cousins? Probably, honestly, because he can get it to Justin Jefferson.
I'd say they'll probably re-up him.
The re-sign him?
Yeah, he had a decent season.
Yeah, he didn't have a bad season at all.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good season. It's just that he can't take the Vikings.
Had how many yards receiving?
He was near the record.
1,800 yards.
He was near the record. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how many yards did Kirk Cousins have passing?
He had over 4,000.
Yeah.
Over 4,000. The specific number is 4,500.
4,500.
Not that many. 29 touchdowns.
And how many interceptions?
14.
Yeah.
He turned the ball over a lot.
Yeah. Well, he's a very serviceable quarterback. I mean,
but he's not going to take the Vikings to the next level. There's a reason Stephon Diggs got the hell out of there. He said, get me a real quarterback. He went over to Josh Allen. When's Justin Jefferson going to say, hey, I want to win. I don't want to sit here.
Kirk Cousins ranked ahead or behind Josh Allen this year?
Please tell me you're joking. You think Kirk Cousins would be ranked higher than Josh Allen?
I don't know. What is the ranking? The quarterback ranking?
Off the top of your head, you're saying in your mind.
No, I'm just curious. I'm pretty sure Josh Allen's ahead of him, but by how much? Sure. He turned the ball over. Look how many times Josh Allen turned the ball over.
Yeah, but look at how Josh Allen performed, though.
Well, what was his stats?
I'll look that up for you. But I can't believe you think there's a world of possibilities. He's the number 1 ranked quarterback on Pro Football Focus. Number 1.
Josh Allen. Yeah, and where is Cousins?
Number 9.
Well, he's in the top 10.
Tied for 9th.
It's in the top 10. 32 teams.
Right, and I said that though. Kirk Cousins is one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the entire nation. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is not an NFL quarterback here, but I just that's a bad.
You wouldn't rank him in your top 10 though, would you?
Kirk Cousins, no. I don't think was he? No, he wasn't in my top 10. Because he's not a top 10 quarterback. He plays bad outside of 1 p.m. He's been horrible in prime time. When the lights are the brightest, he's the darkest. So I mean, it's.
We'll see. I bet the Vikings re-up him.
Because who else would they have?
They could get Jimmy G. Right? They could have Derek Carr. Right?
I would probably take Derek Carr over Kirk Cousins. Probably.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. He's a free agent, Cousins. I bet they'll be interested in him.
I don't know. Kirk, that blows me. Kirk Cousins. I'm moving on to the next topic.
I think he had a decent year. He had a pretty good year. 4,500 yards, 29 touchdowns.
You were questioning if Kirk Cousins is higher than Josh Allen.
His receiver set an NFL record.
No, he
Justin Jefferson. For yards.
No, he didn't.
I thought he did. 1,800 yards, right?
Calvin Johnson has over 1,900.
Okay, well, he came very close. 1,800 yards is a pretty damn good season for a receiver.
It is.
Yeah, and it was Cousins throwing him the ball.
It was, but Kirk Cousins is also reason why they lost a number of these games. It was the second week of the year against the Eagles. He threw like 3 interceptions.
No, they had a pretty good record for the year, Nate. Right? They only lost, 3 or 4 games?
In point differential, they were negative. They're the only team in NFL history to have a negative point differential at 13-4, or have a tremendous winning record and have a negative point differential. I think the only playoff teams that had a worse differential were the Buccaneers. I think that's the only other team. Maybe the Giants. Probably the Giants. Giants and Bucks were the only 2 worst teams.